Let's talk about the Albert Bartlets. Death Duty is the 5-2 favourite in here. Holstone, West Approach, Bacardi's, Augusta Cape, all players in the race. Paul Kealy.
Yeah, well, if you listen to Gordon Elliott, Death Duty is the best hurdler he's ever had, and he thinks the world of him. Augusta Cape was actually trading at odds on when she fell against him, so we don't really know what would happen. But with him, he's 5-2 favourite. He's never run over 3 miles. He's never run on good ground, which, if it doesn't rain during the week, whatever the ground is on Tuesday, if there's no rain, it'll be good by Friday. So I think you have to take him on. West Approach is really, really battle-hardened for me. He's running 2 proper grade ones, you know, against, you know what I mean, Harry. He was third last time. People think he was flattered because he came from way off the pace. But, you know, it's a real strong piece of form. He ran to a racing post rating of 157. No single Albert Bartlett winner had ever run that high before running in the Albert Bartlett, and only one had beaten it when it won the Albert Bartlett. So, yeah, that was Blackjack Ketchum, by the way. So he's got the form to win it already, and he's around 6-1. I think it's a massive price. I'd put a small word in for Mona Lee of Henry de Bromheads. He was third to Death Duty 2 starts ago, then stepped up to 2 miles and absolutely pissed up over a horse called Battleford, who was second to Ballyandy in the champion bumper last year. He's a very interesting horse.
Joe, you're responsible for West Approach, who is a half-brother to Thistlecrack, who's sadly not going to be in the Gold Cup. How is West Approach the Thistlecrack of the future? I know they're related. Is he a horse that, you know, he's a late developer, he's getting there, he's going to be an absolute superstar, or is he just a nice horse?
No, he's just a nice horse, to be honest. Thistlecracks don't come along very often, as simple as that. But he's a good horse, don't get me wrong. John and Heather Snook, who own Thistlecrack and West Approach, are not afraid of going in the big races, and it's only...
And it's worked, hasn't it?
And it has worked, yeah. You only have to look what's happened to Thistlecrack. He wouldn't have won a King George if they hadn't been brave. But purposely with this horse last year, we protected his novice status. He actually finished second in a Potemps qualifier behind, you know what I mean, Harry at Exeter, and Dickie Johnson rode him and said, run him in the best races. If he wins, it doesn't matter, but protect his novice. So that's what we've done. He will run in this race.
Definitely will run in this race.
Well, I have to be careful what I say tonight.
Ricci definitely, or...
No, he will run in this race, yeah.
And John and Heather Snook, ladies and gentlemen, just at the back of the room there. Welcome them to the room. You give them a big round of applause. And
they're here.
Sorry, John, you say Stayers hurdle, do you? Stayers?
Yeah,
all right, no problem, yeah.
They've never left Somerset, bar to go to Cheltenham, so I know that's not true.
Are they really here?
No, of course they're not.
What
For goodness sake, man.
I'm the only straight guy on stage. Anyway, go on.
So he's in great form. His last run at Cheltenham, we kind of said to Ruby, we said ride him to finish as good a race as you can. And he knew a little bit about him, went to Post Keen, which he'd been in the autumn, jumped the first, never picked the bridle up until coming down the hill. So he himself admitted he was 5 to 10 lengths out of his ground, and the last words Ruby said when he got off him was, he's still a novice, isn't he? I'd run him in the World Hurdle. So, but he's a lovely horse. He's been beaten twice by Holstone, but he's now 12 pounds higher than him. I think he's a better horse now. He's learned to race, he's learned to settle. So, great chance, one of our biggest chances.
So much love in the room for West Approach. Noel Hayes, do you have an alternative view?
Not really. I think you want your head examined taking 5-2 Death Duty. As I said last night, Nick, the Albert Bartlett is a completely different test of a horse than any of the Irish novices encounter. And it's been absolute death for favourites over the years. I think Willie's had 4 beaten favourites in it, for example. You're racing over 3 mile and you're proper racing. There's no worthwhile novice hurdle over 3 mile in Ireland until Punchestown, essentially. So nobody's experienced that. So, like, you're asking a horse that's not proven himself in these conditions to go and do that, and you're wishing to back him at 5-2 favourite. Whereas you've got Joe's horse in West Approach, who has it all in the book, as Paul has told you in terms of the form lines. 6-1, I know which I'd rather be on.
Right, this is all very reasoned. You're a West Approach man.
Yes.
West Approach.
Well, listen, I think Gordon isn't allowed to say much unless he kind of clears it with the owners. So the fact he's come out and been very aggressive on Death Duty resonates with me. That being said, I can tell you that Willie felt Augusta Kate was all over him, was going to win the last day. Didn't look at it to my eye, but Augusta Kate to him, he thought was definitely going to win. We were second in that race with Turkagua, who's a good yardstick. I don't think he'll win the race. We've had some luck in this race. We finished in the first 4 a couple of times. But I think that, for me, I think the Irish can win this race. I hear everything about West Approach, and the form is there. But I would say, either Death Duty or Augusta Kate would be the one to take him on.